Yo, what is good YouTube? What's up PlayStation Nation? Jay Barry here, and I'm back with another video here to talk about some Final Fantasy VII Rebirth in my official Final Fantasy VII Rebirth review. Yes, I know it's been a while, but I wanted to accomplish a few things or certain things before I put my official review out. In this review, I'm going to be talking about all the things I love about Final Fantasy VII Rebirth, the things that's great, good. Also, my the bads, the disdains that I have when it came to this game. Even though it's very few, there's still some bads that I would love for them to improve when it comes to Final Fantasy VII Rebirth. A lot of you won't be shocked when it comes to my review score, but I gotta talk about my journey. I gotta talk about this game. It's officially here. Tune in, grab your seats. Here is my Final Fantasy VII Rebirth review. Like I said earlier in the video, I wanted to accomplish a certain thing before I put out my review for Final Fantasy VII Rebirth. And the thing that I accomplished was actually achieving the Platinum Trophy for this game. This Platinum Trophy is not an easy Platinum Trophy to obtain, but I officially got it. It was tears of joy due to all of the challenges, the struggles that he had to go through to get this Platinum Trophy, from the mini games, from the odd jobs, from the Chadley VR simulation missions. It was a journey getting this Platinum Trophy, and it was well worth it because it made me appreciate the game much more. Officially getting the Platinum Trophy. My time that clocked in to get the Platinum Trophy was around 276 hours. Getting the trophy, and I did that because I definitely wanted to play through the game, a second time without skipping everything. So on my hard playthrough, I played the game as I originally played it, the first time, booting the game up. And yeah, this made me appreciate the game much more. And that is going to be one of the biggest pros that I have for the game. So in this review, we're going to be talking about the pros, the cons, and then my overall thoughts, and then we're going to get to the score. So without any further ado, let's get into the actual pros of Final Fantasy VII Rebirth. So let's get into the pros when it pertains to Final Fantasy VII Rebirth. And like I said earlier, there are a lot of pros when it comes to this game. I really love Final Fantasy VII Rebirth, and yeah, the pros super outweigh any of the little cons that I had when it pertains to this game. There are so many pros when it comes to Final Fantasy VII Rebirth that had me coming back for this game over and over again, putting over 270 some hours to get the Platinum Trophy, and currently over 300 hours. This game has a lot of great things going for it, and we're going to talk about it. We're going to break it down. So let's get into the pros for this game. The first pro I want to talk about are the graphics and performance. Final Fantasy VII Rebirth is a beautiful looking game. I love the performance mode when it comes to this game. Originally when it first released, there was some fuzziness when it came to the characters when they were in the open world, but they quickly alleviated that, adding a new additional performance mode. It was like a performance smooth mode that they added that smoothed out a lot of that rough edges that the characters would have in the open world. And yeah, it just looked beautiful. Replaying this game over again on hard mode just even made me appreciate even more just seeing all of the graphics, the cutscenes, the open worlds and different regions, and what the world has within different regions, all the things that you can do within all the regions. It's just an amazing looking game. Super happy with how the game turned out, how the character models look. the menus, all that stuff really put some vibrancy within the game, had everything popping when it came to the world of Final Fantasy VII Rebirth. So yeah, just seeing the level up from, just a game tied to Midgar to now a super open world game. There's legit no loading in the game, especially as you get later into the game and it opens up and you get the tiny Bronco and how you can just go from this point of the world to that point of the world instantly, through the PS5. This game just looks amazing. And I'm very super happy how it turned out. And I just love all of the particle effects, the synergy abilities, the limit breaks, the magic, everything going on. There was no dips in frame rate, none of that when I played this game. The boss fights, is crazy stuff going on with particle effects, no dips in the frame rate. It just looked amazing. So yeah, really love the graphics and the performance when it came to this game. Another pro that I have is the character diversity. This game is very diverse. There are a lot of things that happens in Final Fantasy VII Rebirth, especially adding 2 characters that it wasn't in an original game. We had Yuffie in the intermission DLC, and we had Red 13 as like a party member character, but having those 2 characters playable is amazing. And then not only them, you had Kate Sith as well playable, and the diversity, the different feel with each character is just truly amazing. Red 13, very agile, but more of a grounded, defensive character, and he does pack a punch. He definitely can put enemies into stagger really quick, especially if you get him optimal, and is just super amazing to play. Yuffie is can do everything. She has the range. She can build ATB really fast. She can be up close. She has really good abilities. All that stuff there with Yuffie. She's just an amazing character to have in your party. One of my best team in the game was Cloud, Tifa, and Yuffie. Just cover all angles, build ATB really fast, but it's so much diversity. Everybody have like a different best team or team to go into this, the Chadley missions or whatnot. And that's the amazing thing about it. Kate Sith surprised me a lot when it came to his gameplay. That's due to the fact that it wasn't my favorite character to play in the original game, but they made him super fun in Rebirth. And then later on in the game, in like chapter 9, or is it might be 10, when you get to Nibelheim, they had him playable in a certain section in the game, and I was like, wow, he's really fun. Even the soloing with Kate Sith, he's fun. The luck system is still there when it comes to him, the dice rolls and all that stuff, but they made him have some super cool moves with the Moogle, and yeah, Kate Sith is a lot of fun. And then we have the classic characters, Cloud, Barrett, Aerith, Tifa. What they did to those characters, the additions that they had, especially just doing the dash attacks, more air combos and things like that, was very fun. Cloud is a monster in this game. He's a beast. He's an all-around character that can do everything. Tifa is the powerhouse, the stun queen. Aerith is, oh my god, Aerith, there's some builds with Aerith that can just nuke enemies instantly, which Aerith, I feel like she got some of the biggest buffs in the game, especially with that ward shift move that she has. Super strong, especially if you're if you're moving around with a character a lot. She don't have the best mobility, but if you put out those wards, you can just press triangle to instantly warp to them. Very strong character, man. But I love the character diversity, and yeah, I never got tired of the switching up teams, constantly playing as characters. Just constantly doing things in the game. They made it a super fun with everything that they add in the synergy, skill, and abilities. Very smart move. As you wait for ATB, you can do some synergy skills, and yeah, some of them are really good, especially the defensive ones. Very strong especially when it comes to hard mode, like counter fire. Very strong move in this game. It builds ATB. It's very good defensive move. Can pretty much block a lot of magic abilities that enemies would throw at you. And yeah, I just love that addition to the game. The synergy abilities, very very smart as well, as it increased the party system, the party level of the character. It also had like this affinity level to the game where each synergy ability that you do increases the party affinity towards you, or the confidant towards you, which is really really good for the diversity that they have with the dates and the dialogue and things like that. So yeah, really really love the character diversity in the game, and we're going to come back to that because we're going to talk about the materia and all that stuff. But as I mentioned just now, the dialogue options, I like that a lot. Adding the whole party level, the affinity system within the game, I thought that was super smart of them to add that stuff, because it made it more of a incentive, or like a goal to try to get that person that you're gonna go on that gold saucer date with. So yeah, I made sure I did everything with Tifa, made sure I did everything with other characters as well, to keep their party level up, because having better party level increases the damage and stuff that you can do with your team. So yeah, I like that ability, giving them more stuff to do within the game. The materia system. I always prefer the materia system in Final Fantasy than any other Final Fantasy game, and it's no different here when it comes to Final Fantasy VII Rebirth. There's so much different things you can do when it pertains to the materia. As far as you want a magic build, you want a DPS build, you want a support class, a healer. There's just so much you can do, man. And one thing I can say, that hard mode made me appreciate the materia system even more, because you kind of have to dive in a little bit deeper with the materials in hard mode, because you don't have items that you can use to just replenish your MP. So you got to use the materia to replenish your MP. And there's certain builds that I had and created in hard mode that was like, wow, man. Now when I replay this game again, I'm gonna just destroy certain things. You know what I mean? Because oh my goodness, the materia system is so good in Final Fantasy VII Rebirth. They had some really cool materia as well. First Strike made his appearance back. They have Steady Block, which is really good in the first remake. But they also had this materia called Precision Defensive, focus, something like that. And that's really good, especially for the AI, control characters, where if they block, they gain materia. ATB assist, ATB skill, ATB boost, ATB stag. All those things are really, really good. Swift cast, really good support materia. MP absorb, HP absorb. They have auto unique materia as well for the independent ones. They also had auto use, or if you link a support material to a magic heal or fire, they will auto do that magic attack or heal or barrier within the game, which is super good for some of the bosses and some of the things that you have to do. But yeah, I love the materia system. I love what they implemented there. A lot of cool new materia that they added in there. I'm happy that they added Comet, and the fact that now you can link Comet with Swift Cast. Oh my god, destroy. One of the greatest materials though in this game when it pertains to the magic one is Petrify. So that is your Quake materia. It is so good leveling that thing up, because when you level it up, not only do you get the damage, but you can put them in like a petrified state where the more you hit them, they become like stone objects or whatnot. So it is really really good to go through the open world and use Quake and all that stuff. But yeah, leveling up the materia makes it super super strong. Thank you that we get more than one magnify, more than two elemental. They definitely was a little not lenient, but they did offer more materia there for the party to use. So very very happy with the materia system. And yeah, it is chef kiss. Materia system great in this game. So let's talk about one of the biggest pros in Final Fantasy VII Rebirth, and that's the sheer amount of content this game has. There are a lot of things to do in Final Fantasy VII Rebirth, and I mean a lot. And if anybody is new to like a Final Fantasy or a game like this, it can be a little intimidating for those people. But overall, majority of the stuff that they have here to play and to do is super fun. I had a wonderful time playing a lot of the mini games, doing everything, getting rank 3 in every mini game in Final Fantasy VII Rebirth. There are some mini games that I did not enjoy, which we're going to talk about in the cons, but majority of them I did enjoy. Majority of them, I sat down there until I got that rank 3 within the game. And one of them is Queen's Blood. Queen's Blood is super fun. I need Square Enix to make a Queen's Blood actual game and put that out there, whether it's mobile, console, PC. Put that thing out there, because that game is super fun. Have some multiplayer in there, online stuff, and because that game is just very, very fun. How strategic you got to be just creating your decks, the abilities some of these monsters or these cards have, and just putting everything together. And once you have everything together, that feeling that it gives you, very, very fun. Even the story that they have within Queen's Blood was really good. Implementing certain characters in there, I thought that was really cool. Where I had to take on, certain. I was like, yeah, this is fun, man. I like where they're going with this, and yeah, the Blood Queen, she's a lot of work. You know what I mean? So I had a lot of fun playing Queen's Blood. You had games like Fort Condor making his return. I like the new implementations that they did with Fort Condor. Definitely, it took a little adjusting to do to get used to Fort Condor, but very, very fun game. The G-Bike, I had a lot of fun doing that. The speed battle we're here see with a starship, I thought this was really fun mini game. 3D Brawler, very, very fun mini game. The Chocobo races, very fun. The Proto Relic ones are the ones that probably aren't the most fun. We're going to talk about them, but those mini games can be a little bit of a chore, to be honest with you, especially the Gears and Gambits and the Captar one. I feel like those are the more difficult ones to accomplish, in my opinion. But overall, I had a lot of fun doing the activities within the world, from the Dolphin, like I said, Queen's Blood. There's just so much I can list as far as the things that you can do in this game. It is sheer goodness, to be honest with you. And yeah, majority of your time is going to be, trying to get these rank 3s, especially when you hit Costa del Sol. A lot of mini games open up. There's a certain chapter where once you land back in Costa del Sol, mini games galore opens up. Like, oh, now we got challenger mode for these mini games. And yeah, went right to it, got it. It took me longer than expected with some of them, but overall, a lot of fun. In the side missions, a lot of variety in the side missions. I really enjoyed that. Yeah, it's just so much content to do. They have these caches where you can search and explore and open up these chests and whatnot. I like how each chocobo is different as far as what they can do ability wise. Where each region is unique as far as how you explore. Yeah, there's so much content to do in Final Fantasy VII Rebirth that you will never get bored of how much stuff there is to do and accomplish within the game. Because yeah, I feel like majority of the stuff is engaging, where it will keep your attention, and you'll most likely you'll accomplish it. I don't know if people will get the level 3s. That is take a lot of dedication, but I think eventually people will at least attempt each mini game at least once or twice, in their playthrough of the game. But yeah, super great. The mini games, the shared content, you can't beat it. So let's talk about some boss fights. Just like in remake Final Fantasy VII Rebirth, boss fights are amazing. They did not lack in boss fights in this game. A lot of the old school bosses made his appearance here, with some new moves and whatnot, just like how remake did. but there's some new bosses in here as well. And overall, man, the diversity, the attack patterns with these bosses are just amazing, man. Always having to adapt, keep your head on the swivel, making sure that your party, your materia system is built up right, having a proper accessory, using assess. Man, the boss fights was just amazing in Rebirth, man. Super fun. Just having to just constantly adjust within the boss fight. And what Rebirth does, they switch the party members up a lot in this game, and it makes sure that you are using everybody to their potential in this game. There's no character in this game where you're just like, you know what, this character, I'm not really feeling this person, whatever, you know, we'll do what we do. No, you have to actually have each character, you know, pretty optimal when it comes to the boss fights in this game. I was playing this game my first playthrough on dynamic, so dynamic constantly adjusts the levels of the bosses. You know, I think the HP or the attacks is increased as well. But yeah, dynamic was pretty challenging. Not saying it was like super difficult outside of a few bosses here and there, especially Rufus making his return. But no, like, yeah, the boss fights were very engaging, and I loved them a lot. The Midgar Shorm, you know, the Midgar Zolom, yo, that was one of the first bosses that we did, like major bosses in the game. And yeah, that was a difficult fight. It took me a while to figure that one out, but we got there. Fighting the Turks over and over again, that was super fun as well. You know, fighting against Elena and Rude, and then you have to fight against Elena and like Shin. That was just like super fun, man. And I was like, yeah, they constantly switched it up, offer new challenges. It didn't get boring at all. Some of these attacks you had to figure out, like, okay, I can't do this here, I gotta respect this attack here, I can't have this enemy or this boss hit me here. And yeah, I loved that when it came to Rebirth. Towards the end, the final boss fight was challenging. It was definitely a classic Square Enix boss fight. You know, where there was lots of different phases here and there. But I enjoyed it. A lot. They do have like save points in some of the bosses, so anybody that have like too much of a difficult time when it comes to the boss fights, you know, they have like little checkpoints here and there. But yeah, man, they did not fail when it comes to the bosses, and there's quite a lot of them. I did put up all of my boss fights when it comes to the major boss fights in the game on the channel, so if anybody want to check that stuff out. But yeah, I had a lot of fun with these bosses, man. The Giga Trice fighting this boss was like, yo, they made this like a super major boss. You know, this was an annoying character monster in the original game, but having it as an official like super boss definitely had me adjusted and had me thinking about a few things on how I want to you know, strategize how I want to get into, you know, defeating this boss. But yeah, assess, especially your first playthrough, that is a must. You got to assess it up. You know, assess it up, people, and learn what these bosses can do, learn their patterns, know what their elements they're weak to, how you can pressure them. Yeah, because especially on hard mode, it makes you appreciate the game's design and bosses a lot more on a hard mode, especially when it comes to the materia and their setups and the characters. It makes you really appreciate some of the designs with these bosses, because like, yeah, these are some cool bosses. You might not experience this level of like attack your first playthrough, but in hard mode you definitely gonna experience them, because they got more health, they hit harder, so they will survive a lot of the stuff that you're doing. And yeah, it can get pretty detrimental out here. Like that attack right there. This is my first playthrough on dynamic, but as you can see, it gets a little crazy when it comes to the bosses. But I love them. Hopefully you all love them as well. But yeah, the boss fights were amazing in Rebirth, and hard mode made them even more fun, in my personal opinion. let's talk about some quick points as far as the pros, just to shorten the length of the video. But I wanted to bring these things up because they are like talking points that I had written down when I was playing throughout the game. And I like the references that they have throughout the game in the open world, like the life springs. I like that they implemented that stuff. Like I said, the activities that you can do. But there's a lot of like lore behind a lot of the activities that you can do. So yeah, the open world, super amazing. Gave me like a Ghost of Tsushima vibe as far as like, yeah, there's things to do in the world, but it wasn't like forcing me to do a lot of things. You do have like animals that will help you out, finding like life springs like I brought up, which was cool. I enjoyed that stuff. The DualSense implementation was great. That's a PS5 thing, and I'm happy that they implemented that stuff. I also fell in love with the 7th Infantry unit. What they did here as far as the whole Junon scene, and made it into like such much a bigger deal than it was in the original game. Having this unit, and you built this kind of like rapport with them as you got them to get the special accommodation. You trained them, you did the whole march and all that stuff, and I was like, yo, they really did something special here when it came to the Junon scene. Junon was spectacular in my opinion, man. And yeah, this little scene right here definitely had me emotional as far as like, okay, this is super cool. Cloud as the captain, gathered everybody up and everybody respecting him, and then they had this little speech here, kind of knowing like, okay, you're not who you are, but we developed this respect for you. And that's how I felt towards them, because yeah, I look at them as the enemy, but with everything that we went through, I respected them. One of the coolest scenes in the game is having this infantry unit follow behind you as you get to your destination. They're fighting with you, they're healing you, they're shooting at the other Shinra infantry, and I'm just like, yo, these people are really rocking out with your boy Cloud, man. And that's such a heartfelt moment, but a cool moment to add within the game. So a lot of these cool additional moments that they have in the game, very, very dope. What I love, stepping up from the original game. And yeah, you can't ask for nothing better than that, man. That's what really made me love our remake. Also, the character development. Really enjoy the character development. Like Red 13, his classic scene as dressing up as a in a Shinra infantry unit. I think he was in like in a sailor suit in the original. I'm not too sure. I don't remember, but the whole cruise ship scene was super fun. Having a tournament there, playing against Red and seeing how he developed him as a character. His classic scene as he's crying to his father. Just seeing all of these characters, Barrett go through what he went through in Corral region, Red go through what he went through in Cosmo Canyon, Cloud, his journey and all the things that he's going through, the changes, how he's being manipulated, and showing his true feelings towards characters in certain moments here and there. It was really special. Aerith and her growth, from being that naive character to like, hey, I gotta save the world. Aerith, super strong character. I love what they did with her. Tifa, Tifa have her weaknesses, her things that her struggles that she went through, and she definitely overcome a lot of them within Rebirth. From the past and how she really was in the past and how she is now. Going through that live stream scene, I thought that was super amazing. But yeah, the character development, the story, I just want more of that within the remake trilogy. So the next game, I know they're going to go even more depth with Sid and with Vincent. But each character, Yuffie going through her stuff, like you saw that with every character, and that's one thing I was looking forward to in Rebirth, was all those individual side quests and things like that, where they expand upon the characters' lore and what they're about and their goals and their ambitions throughout this world. And yeah, they definitely did do a great job when it pertains to them. So yeah, super enjoyed that. And as you can see, very high pro when it comes to the game. And I'm kind of being vague when it comes to a lot of the story aspect and character stuff, because you know it is still early. I know spoilers are out there, and you know in this review there's going to be some spoilers as far as like the gameplay showing and some of the things I speak about. But yeah, I do want to respect, you know, certain people that I do you know, have a lot of respect for in this community when it pertains to the spoilers. But so yeah, I'm being very vague when it comes to a lot of story aspect, but the story is phenomenal in Rebirth. And yeah, and the characters as well. So super high pro. So that was a lot of pros, but we got to get into the cons when it pertains to Final Fantasy VII Rebirth. And I don't have a lot of cons when it pertains to this game. Like I said, I love this game a lot. I think this game is a masterpiece, and the things that they did and implemented in this game, I just had a lot of fun with it, and I can see myself continuing to play this game even after the platinum run, even after going through the struggles of brutal difficulty missions and legendary missions. It's just everything that they did here is well implemented. But I do have some cons, and we do want to talk about them here in this review. And the first con that I have, it's a light one, but it deals with the climbing and the swinging. I feel like the climbing, it doesn't feel good in my personal opinion. I feel like they can definitely improve or have it feel much better. Like, I get where they was going. They don't really want people too confused as far as where they need to go in the game, but the actual climbing itself didn't feel good at all. There's times where I'm holding up, or I'm holding up in a certain direction, and it's just taking too long to just even go to that direction. You know, it didn't feel as spot on as I wanted it to feel. And the swinging is not like bad, but it's just a little nitpick where I feel like the inertia of the swing, you know, could feel a little bit better. It felt a little too stiff, especially when you're jumping off. I feel like you can have like a really cool, you know, animation there. But that is just more like nitpicks when it comes to the swinging. But the climbing, I definitely do is a con for me, because you are going to climb a lot in this game. But I feel like they could have did a better job with the climbing. Another con that I have here is no materia presets. So I feel like loadouts needs to be added in this game. There's so many times where you switch your characters throughout the game, throughout the chapters or whatnot, and while you're switching your characters, you are also switching the materia. You know, especially when the really good materia, you know, the support materia, the yellow materia, the independent materia, the purple ones. You know, there's not that much that you can distribute throughout the party. There's so much party members within the game, so you definitely have to swap out a lot of materia throughout the game, and you know that can be a little bit tedious at times. You know, the swapping out, you have a certain build with Cloud, but then they switch to a different character, and then he's like, oh, all this the good stuff that I have here, which is limited, let me put it on this character because it's pretty good. You know, it's just constant switching. I feel like if they had like presets, or if they even though you switched out the materia, if you go back to the character, it will automatically go back to the previous setup that you had. I feel like that will be implemented. But yeah, presets will definitely will be a great addition, you know, to the game. Hopefully they can add that within the game, you know, life cycle, you know, as is out right now. But yeah, definitely need that within it, because there's so much switching and there's so much materia for you to, you know, put different builds and whatnot with each character. It's a chore switching up. The next con that we're going to have here is it had one of the worst side missions in this game. I feel like the side mission itself was a joke, where you had to like attract the chickens to to like use the lure to bait the chickens back to this NPC character. But the payoff was really, really funny, as I'm showing it right here. Super funny where they end up eating the chickens after that boring and horrible side mission of luring all the chickens back to this lady. But yeah, I feel like that side mission, as funny as it was not enjoyable to do. It felt off. It felt very different, and I was just like, "What the hell is this?" So I have that there in my con, but the payoff did work out. The last con that I have is, I felt like chapter 14, it felt rushed. Everything that you can do in this game, from side missions, mini games, all this stuff that you can do, and chapter 14 just boom, right to it, right to the boss. There's so much stuff that I felt like they could have implemented in chapter 14. Going into the Forgotten Capital, you have to go to the Bone Village. Everything in this game you can do a mini game too. And I'm really surprised that they didn't have the Bone Village as a part of the mini game. Especially getting the Lunar Harp, so you can go into like the secret forest or whatnot, and knowing how to traverse through that so you can get to the Forgotten Capital. I was very surprised that they didn't incorporate that in the game. They did incorporate some story stuff, as far as just like having you just walk through the forest. But I kind of wanted to, do a mini game and play through the forest. Figure out, oh, let me see how I got to go through this. And I was very shocked that that wasn't included in the game. So yeah, chapter 14 very, very rushed, and I even though it was enjoyable, I was very shocked that they didn't implement certain things within the chapter 14. So yeah, those are my cons, to be honest with you. Not that much, but those are the cons that I have for the game. Like I said, the cons for me are super light. And yeah, super light cons, but the pros are very, very heavy. The pros, I feel like majority of people that play the game would love it, because how much the sheer content, how good the content is, the characters, all of that. I feel like people will enjoy the game. So those are my specific cons. Very light, but it is what it is. So let's talk about my overall thoughts. Like I said, I really love Final Fantasy VII Rebirth. It is an amazing game. I consider it a masterpiece, from the characters to the world exploration, the story, the mini games, the activities that you can do, the cutscenes, the story. Everything is well implemented within Final Fantasy VII Rebirth. And with that being said, I want to give my official score of Final Fantasy VII Rebirth. It is a 10 out of 10. I love the hell out of this game. I platinumed the game. It was a journey to platinum this game. It took a lot to platinum this game. I felt like after I played this game, I was like, what the hell happened in the world? I was so hyper focused on playing this game, learn the story, and getting the platinum. But yeah, a 10 out of 10 is my official score for Final Fantasy VII Rebirth. It is a masterpiece. I love this game. Can't wait to play some more of it, because I will be doing my third playthrough of the game. And we're going to do some lore diving and figure some stuff out. We're going to talk about the Ultimania in a later video. But yeah, Final Fantasy VII Rebirth to me is a 10 out of 10. You all let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. Did you love the game? Did you hate the game? Do you think I rated it too high? What's your opinions when it comes to Final Fantasy VII Rebirth? But for me, I think this game is a masterpiece. But hopefully you enjoyed this video. It's your boy Jay Bari. I'm gone. Deuces. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. If you enjoyed it, hit the like button. If you're new, subscribe. And I'll catch you in the next one. I'm gone. Deuces.